Today we're back with another week of the SPL, where we're taking on Emil, coach of the Montreal Ice Cubes. His team is pretty terrifying, featuring threats like Psyspam with Hoopa Unbounded and DD Female, but also some other modes like Tailwind with Skyman and Sandy Shocks, and even a really threatening Skeledirge that with Terra Fairy is very difficult for my team to break. I think I have a team of Pokemon that can overwhelm this, starting off of course with our Garchomp, who's going to be a very terrifying wall breaker here, with a moveset featuring Earthquake, Stomping Tantrum, Dragon Claw, and Protect. Now this of course is going to be a Terra Dark Garchomp with the Psychic Seed item, meant to try and be a really good option to get around threats like Hoopa Unbound. It's easily one of the scariest Pokemon on my team, as I don't actually have a Dark type, so I'm going to have to rely on Terras that will resist this, unfortunately. Though with our speed creeping any sort of Hoopa Unbound that would come outside of Scarf, we really only would have to worry about Hoopa Unbound under Tailwind or Trick Room, but thankfully those are going to be very easy to overwhelm, as my Garchomp should be great at wall breaking past anything my opponent would try to do in order to set those up. Up next, we're going to have Chevroose, our Volcanion, who's going to be rocking a very good set this week. It's going to be Terra Bug as a great way to get around things like the Earth Power Sandy Shocks without making us weaker to any other threatening Pokemon like Skeledirge, and with the Citrus Berry of course, we're going to be able to chunk a lot of different hits. We're invested for both physical and special Hoopa Unbound, which is really incredible considering we don't even need an Assault Vest to do it, and with Steam Eruption, Flamethrower, and Sludge Bomb, we'll cover any sort of Pokemon with our Dual Stab, and Sludge Bomb is great for Terra Fairies like the Skeledirge that might otherwise become a problem for our team. We're rocking minus speed with 14 speed IVs to try and underpace any sort of threats that Emil might be going for into Trick Room outside of the Skeledirge, and I think it'll work out really well for us. With my Tornadus Therian today, we're rocking out with a set featuring Tailwind, Icy Wind, Bleak Wind Storm, and Taunt. This is going to also be a Terra Electric Tornadus in order to make sure that we're getting around any sort of things like Sandy Shocks going for any moves like Thunderbolt or Electro Web, in order to make sure that we can actually try and play that 50-50 right. With Icy Wind specifically, we're also going to be able to get some good speed control on Emil in case if he runs with the fast mode, and it's a great partner for things like Garchomp in order to make sure that we can truly overwhelm Emil's team. We're not really going to beat Emil in the Trick Room fight, but I think we can with the Tailwind mode in my opinion, because Emil's Tailwind mode is definitely a bit more scuffed than mine is. Up next we have Alolan Ninetales, who's going to be a very good support piece here, but also a really interesting Pokemon because I don't think Emil will play around it properly. I think we can win a game off of this Choice Scarf Alolan Ninetales with Terra Ice that's going to lean into moves like Icy Wind, Aurora Veil, Blizzard, and Misty Terrain to try and just overwhelm Emil in general. We're going to be creeping any sort of booster speed shocks with this, and the Misty Terrain could be very useful to try and limit Hoopa Unbound to only a single target expanding force, as I do anticipate that's the move that Emil's going to click the most here. I think this will be a great piece, and it's going to be a phenomenal lead next to Garchomp that can truly overwhelm especially any sort of fast mode that Emil has going for him. Up next we have Tinkaton, which is going to be rocking out with a really interesting moveset here. Because we are really scared of Terra Fairy Skeledirge, we're rocking out with Mold Breaker with Swords Dance and Knockoff that can make sure that we're going to pressure Skeledirge very well pre-Terra, and post-Terra, Gigaton Hammer will be a very quick way to KO it with ease. Overall, this with Terra Fire is going to be a great win con, and I think that Alolan Ninetales can open it up to win a game 3 or 2 for us very quickly. Finally, we have none other than Raging Bull, which is going to be a very powerful option to just take hits from Emil's team thanks to the Assault Vest and Terra Water. Emil doesn't have a lot of great ways to kill us outside of Skyman and Sandy Shocks, and because they're both special attackers, we can run Snarl to make that job a lot more difficult. Especially with the Terra Water 50-50, this changes quite a bit what Emil actually should be attacking me with in both these Pokemon, so hopefully it can enable a really quick Snarl turn, and even without that, we're still invested very well in both defenses to make sure we can take hits from pretty much any of Emil's Pokemon to pop the Snarl. Especially if we do partner this with the Misty Terrain on Alolan Ninetales, that Thunderclap becomes a lot more spammable, though Emil might also just bench Indeedee, because while it is pretty good in my team, he has a pretty decent Tailwind mode that could probably rock out with something like Skyman, Okidogi, Sandy Shocks, and any sort of filler Pokemon like Skeledirge or Hoopa Unbound. With that out of the way though, let's get right into the games. I feel pretty confident that we can win this game, but we'll just have to see. I think A9 realistically does kind of clear through Emil, but what does Emil lead? Okay, Hoopa and Indeedee. Alright, cool. So this is like kind of what we were expecting on lead. This is fun. So, it's Terra Psychic Koopa, which means that it does not have any defensive Terra typing to me, meaning that my Garchomp is gonna really cook Emil offensively. And not only that, but also we can kind of just go for like Taunt plus Earthquake here, and I can go for Terra Dark. That clears through most things that Emil can do on lead. And I just Earthquake through. That's gonna do like half to Hoopa. It doesn't really get any way to actually stop this. It's not like Indeedee gets Wide Guard, which thankfully it's one of the few like viable support Pokemon that doesn't get Wide Guard that Emil could have taken. So it really does just make this play very free. And it's like my objective turn 1, I would argue every game, especially seeing that the Indeedee is Fairy and that the Hoopa is Psychic. There's not really any reason to ever avoid clicking Earthquake actually. Especially with Torn on the field. So yeah, Emil's gonna go for Follow Me. I'm curious if this means that the Hoopa is gonna go for Trick Room or just Expanding Force here. But either way, I'm not really too concerned. My Garchomp's gonna chew if it's Expanding Force. If Torn dies, that's also even better for me, to be honest. We'll kind of just have to see. We see Mental Orb and DD. Perfect. Alright, cool. So, Hoopa is 3 KO'd by this, that's fine. Let's see. And then Hoopa goes for Trick Room. Okay, cool. So, this is perfectly fine, perfectly fine. We're still not really too concerned with this, if we're gonna be honest. We've already at minimum gotten some decent support here. Even if Amel goes for like a Terra, I'm kind of okay with that. And I don't mind really having gone for mine. We'll just go for Bleak Wind plus EQ. I have some decent pieces like Raging Bolt in the back later on for this, but I'm not really concerned with anything Amel can do this turn. Even if it's like Gleam plus Brick Break or something, it's not really too concerning for me. We've at minimum revealed though that Amel does have Trick Room on Hoopa U, which is perfectly fine. I can kind of just full send because of the fact that Amel does have this next game. And I can go for something like maybe Volcanion on lead and just clear through the Indeedee. Thankfully, Expanding Force doesn't even actually pressure my Tornadus that well. So I might even just, well, no, I don't really want to switch around Hoopa U if we're going to be honest. Plus, we might actually take it out. We haven't revealed any offensive item, at least on Hoopa. It's Citrus Spray. Okay, cool. Alright. So this is still perfectly fine. I'm not really too concerned at this point. The Bleak Wind's going to go off here. We've revealed Reflect and Expanding Force this turn as well. So, let's see. And then we've gotten these Pokemon both pretty weak too, which is huge. I'm just going to go for Earthquake here, and I'm going to go for Bleak Wind yet again. Again, I'm not really too concerned with preserving Torn, and my Garchomp still just kind of walls. So I'm not really too worried about Amel's team at this point. We can actually probably use this to our advantage and maybe even stall through Amel's Trick Room. But either way, my Bolt is going to do some decent work in a bit, as well as the fact that I'll just have Scarf A9, which can really clean through Amel at the late game. So we'll just kind of have to see how that goes. But again, as of right now, even if we really do like lose game 1, I'm not really too concerned with that personally. We can get a game 2 that should be able to win with like Tinkaton, for example. So good luck to Amel, I guess, for trying to overwhelm the Garchomp here, because I don't see what that check would actually be. It'd probably have to be Okidogi, but it's not going to really like switching in even with Reflect up, just because Garchomp's just going to deal so much damage. Also, if Hoopa's fully special, then that works out well in my favor as well, because it's not going to actually deal real damage to me. We're going to see Expanding Force go off here. I wonder if that's a speed type, because I feel like we've seen these Pokemon both kind of interchange on their first turn. We see Clover Cloak get stolen. Okay, cool. That's fine. This is Clover Cloak now. Not really going to actually bother me. And we see this is also a Hyper Voice over Dazzling Gleam, which is really funny, actually, to see. Let's see. Okay. So this is also not a big deal, because we now see that I can bring in my Raging Bolt pretty cleanly. There's not a lot that Amel can really do that's going to overwhelm that. Chad Dog, I think that's Okidogi? Yep, that's Okidogi. Okay, perfect. So this is fine. Alright, so from this point, I kind of want to... Is that Okidogi Terra? No, it's Terra Psychic. Okay, cool. How many turns of Trick Room are left? I want to figure that out. So there is 2 turns of Trick Room left. Okay, cool. That's fine. We're going to go for Protect this turn, and I'm going to go for a... I think I'm going to go for Snarl. Snarl should mostly be to kill Indeedee, and then maybe Scout for like a Terra Psychic on Okidogi. And then I can go for Draco Meteor into that spot next turn as well. I'd just rather avoid letting my opponent... Okay, so it's not Light Screen. Good to know. Okay, so they're going to go for Helping Hand. So we now know the full moveset on Indeedee. And on top of this as well, we can kill it. So no more Follow Me support on the following turn. No more Trick Room Reset either from Amel's side, which is actually really good for my Garchomp. Obviously, it's not going to deal a ton of damage to Okidogi. Not really concerned with that, though. I'm curious if it's going to go for Bolt or Garchomp here. It's going to go for Garchomp. Okay, cool. So they're really concerned with killing Amon. That's honestly fine. I can just go hard into Ninetales next turn. Depending on. I might actually keep. Am I going to keep? We see iCup. That's Mon number 4. That's Sandy Shocks. Okay, cool. Is this Booster Speed? Booster Speed or Special Attack? Speed. Okay, cool. As far as this goes, I kind of want to switch. I feel like that's kind of a throw, though. Actually, yeah, it kind of is a throw. I just go for Tantrum into... Is Shocks? Shocks is ground. I go for it into Okidogi, and I just go for Draco into Shocks. If they go for Protect, that's fine. I'm not really too concerned with that. Amel's going for the Terra at this point. And on Okidogi, again, perfectly okay with that. Alright, so Amel's Terra Psychic on this, which is fine. And Shocks is going to go for Protect. Cool. So this is also not a big deal for me, in all honesty. Because I can now actually just go for Blizzard very freely into this. And then I can just go for like a Draco Meteor into Okidogi, which is huge. We actually don't even die, which is also pretty decent for us. Then I'm kind of curious what I actually want to do at that point. We get some Rough Skin chip at least, as well as some Stomping Tantrum damage that's going to come in very shortly. So yeah, it's not terrible. Psychic Terrain's going to go away as well, which is decent for us. Yeah, I kind of want to just go for... I kind of just want to go for, like, Dragon Claw here into Okidogi. And I kind of want to go for Draco Meteor into Okidogi. They would have to, like, dual target my Garchomp. Well, my Raging Bolt actually KO it. I know for a fact that I survived Booster Speed, Sandy Shocks. So I'm not too concerned with that, thankfully. We know Okidogi as well. It's a small thing to note, but it's not Protective Pads, because it took Rough Skin damage, which is a very good detail to note, at least. Because that'll impact future play, potentially. Just something that could have maybe come up in a draft setting, but we'll take that, we'll take that. Amel's gonna go for Earth Power into Garchomp and just kill the Garchomp. That's perfectly fine. Honestly, it's kind of what I was hoping for, so we will more than take that. Now, the big thing to note here is I'm kind of curious to see if Amel is gonna go for, like, an Assault Vest Okidogi at this point, because we've not actually seen any sort of passive recovery through something like a Leftovers. If it is Assault Vest, we'll probably be able to figure that at least out from this calc, so that's fine if it is. We'll try and play around it at the very least. Alright, so that Draco... Ooh, that Draco does, like, nothing. Okay, cool. That is probably Assault Vest. We're gonna just go for Raw Blizzard here. Not like we're gonna... I mean, honestly, I don't actually think that Sandy Shocks is really gonna play around us. I don't think Amel is going to risk thinking that, that I'm gonna get, like, a Veil into Calm Mind. Maybe I'm wrong. But we'll go for Blizzard here. And then I'm gonna go for Snarl here as well. Actually... I'm just gonna go for another Draco here. I'd rather just kill this. Amel's Poison Jab won't kill, thankfully, because it's not like Amel's setup. It's a really weak Okidogi. It's a really weak Okidogi, though, to be fair, that is, like, still at half health, but still, either way. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Oh, Flash Cannon goes off. Okay, that's fine. I forgot about Flash Cannon. Okay. So, that's fine. I should have probably remembered that, if we're gonna be honest, but... So, ooh, yeah, the Flash Cannon actually might screw me over, but that's completely on my own. That's completely my own fault for doing that. We've seen Ice Punch as well coming from this. That's, oh, well, 1-0, and then Okidogi's 0-1. And I don't think that I win this exchange, unfortunately. Unless I, like, crit a Draco here, but I doubt this Shocks doesn't just kill me. Alright, cool. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that we lose at this point for game 1. Completely due to my own misplaying, but it is what it is. We can still definitely persevere in game 2. I'm not really too concerned with that. So with this information, though, we see that Amel bench the Politoed and the Skyman, which is pretty easy to expect, if we're to be honest. I feel like that Skyman has borderline no matchup unless it's with, like, some sort of Sandy Shock sleeve. Meanwhile, the Politoed is really just to clear Rain, and I don't really think Amel has a reason to bring it, especially with Volcanion and Raging Bolt here. Well, to clear Snow, I should say. It's not to clear Rain. But either way, there's not really a huge reason to bring it. So this is Sandy Shock Skyman. Okay, that's fine. This actually is a really good lead into that. Oh, what? Oh. Oh, well, that's really bad. I thought I let off with Alola Ninetales. Oh, no. Okay, well, still not the biggest deal in the world. Honestly, that's not a Fairy Skyman, right? No, that's Ground. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just full send into Sandy Shocks. Thankfully, it's not Terra Ice on, like, either Pokemon. And then I think I just go for a... I think I just go for Snarl, actually. I go for Snarl into this. Oh, well, actually, that's probably Covert Cloak. So I think I actually just go for Draco into Skyman. Yeah, I just go for Draco into Skyman. I can't lie. Misclicking on that Torn, that's completely on me. But, man, that's going to really screw me over. Oh, no. I'm not on the Torn, on the... Well, misclicking on the Alola Ninetales. That's going to really screw me over. Because that would have been a much easier lead if I let off with Alola Ninetales, because Amel actually had no out to that with Terra Ice. Terra Ice just actually immediately eviscerated Amel's team. Thankfully, Amel's actually going for Garchomp. And then, yeah, it's Sea-Flare into that as well. Okay. So still not great, and Alola Ninetales would have avoided that completely, but it is what it is. I could still potentially overwhelm, but it's going to be a lot more rough. Thankfully, I do get a free Terra Ice Blizzard here. And Amel, unless there's a Politoed here, doesn't have the best switch-ins to that. And I can actually probably just go for Terra Ice. And then just go for Blizzard here. And then we're gonna Volt Switch. Well, not Volt Switch. We're gonna go for a Thunderbolt here. Actually, no, we'll go for Snarl. We'll go for Snarl just in case something lives. I doubt something lives, but just in case. I'd rather not let Amel get off any funny business. Let's see. Man, that Garchomp dying, really unfortunate. I'm trying to think about my line here. Yeah, okay. So Skyman has at minimum Seed Flare. We've seen Seed Flare. Makes a lot of sense from Shaman Sky. Because, I mean, realistically, again, you wouldn't bring Skyman without, like, Tailwind, Seed Flare, and then probably Earth Power and Air Slash here. I feel like you definitely have to go, like, 3 attacks here. You might go Gleam on that, to be fair, but I feel like it'd be more of a Terra Fairy thing. We're gonna go for Terra Ice, though. We're just gonna... I feel like Ninetales can just kind of claim 2 kills right here. Which will help out the game plan immensely. If that is a Sash Skyman for whatever reason, we've cleared through it. That is perfect. That's no Tailwind for Amel anymore, which means that, like, a fast mode would no longer work. We're gonna see Protect come off from Sandy Shocks again. That's still perfectly fine. And then Skyman will definitely die, which is huge. If Politoed comes in on the next turn, I'm still not too concerned with that, because I can definitely just still go for, like, Blizzard plus the Snarl and KO this. So I'm pretty okay with that. Amel is going to go for Protect, though. That Sandy Shocks is still preserved. We get at least a kill on all in Ninetales. Meanwhile, Skyman is at least only 1-1. So we'll take that. We'll take it. It's 3-3. My mislead really, really screwed me over, because I could have definitely been up, like, immediately to, like, 4-2, but we'll see. Okay, so Okie Dokie is Mon in game number 3. That's fine. My play is still just click Blizzard, and then I'm gonna go for switch into Tinkaton. Am I? No, I actually can't really switch into Tinkaton here. I kind of just have to go for the Snarl. Yeah, because in the off chance, well, actually no, I need to go for a Thunderbolt into Okie Dokie. That's not it's Terrasaki. Yeah, I can just go for Thunderbolt into that. Because in the off chance, I mean, one, this is a good para moment potentially, depending on how fast Amel is. Amel's gonna withdraw. Okay, huge, 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 huge. And that's Politoed, right? That's Indeedee. Oh, that's Indeedee. Oh, that's huge, actually. Hold on. We can open up a lot with that, because if it's Tink, Sandy Shocks, and Okie Dokie, then I could actually, in theory, just win with A9 plus Tinkaton, and that might not be terrible. Especially if we can get, like, potentially if we get, like, a pair on here. And Okie Dokie is going for Drain Punch, which is very interesting to know. Obviously, I mean, it's still going to be dealing some massive damage because we're no longer resistant, or no longer neutral, but thankfully we have our Snow Boost, which is huge. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to switch out Harden to Tinkaton, because I kind of need a low Ninetales. And then I think I'm going to go for a Snarl here, as just a means to weaken Indeedee. Okie Dokie shouldn't be too much of a threat at this point, and knowing that Hoopa U is not here is actually really helpful. My Tinkaton could, in theory, kind of clean, because Gigaton Hammer plus Knockoff really does a lot to Amel's team, and especially if Amel goes for Terra on that Okie Dokie for some reason, then that helps me out a lot. Either way, though, I can just go for Gigaton Hammer into that and be kind of good, or I can go for, like, Knockoff into the Indeedee and be kind of good. We know it's Mental Herb too, so that's a huge option to clear, potentially. Though, well, actually, no, not really. We don't have any support for it. It's not like we have, like, Encore on Tinkaton. I'm too used to thinking that's, like, an Encore Tinkaton. Just from, in general, it's just the set you kind of associate with Tink at this point in VGC. Okay, so we're going to bring in Tinkaton here, though. Let's see. Amel's probably just going to go for Drain Punch again. Maybe even, like, Hyper Voice. Follow me. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's probably going to be Follow Me plus Drain Punch just to ensure that he KOs Tink, which is fine. Well, not Tink. Just to ensure he KOs Zola and Ninetales, which is still fine. Okay, cool. So, very, very fine attack to be going for there. And thankfully as well, we can potentially just get into a situation where we can just take out the Okie Dokie and just really full send with Tinkaton. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go for Sword Stance here, and I'm gonna go for a actually no, I think I'm gonna go for a Protect here. I'd rather preserve. And then we're gonna go for another Snarl here. I'd rather let them waste their time trying to actually take out my Tinkaton. So we're gonna go for Protect this turn, and I'm gonna go for Snarl, and just slowly whittle down the Indeedee and get some very slow chip on Okidogi. Okay, cool. This will also help with just like stalling through terrain potentially, just so I can Thunderclap more freely, which will be decent. Especially in a last ditch if I need to actually click the move. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do here, I think I'm gonna go for like a knockoff. Am I? I'm actually gonna go for Sword Stance. I'm gonna go for Sword Stance, and I'm still gonna go for Snarl. Because my Tinkaton should outpace Okidogi, hopefully. It would need to be speed invested to outpace me. Okay, perfect. So we do outpace, which is huge. And then not only that, but we're going to see another Drain Punch go off. That's fine. Oh, it killed. That sucks. I should have just Gigaton. I thought we'd survive. Oh no. Okay, that's really bad. That's actually really bad. Oh yeah, no, we lose. We definitely lose. Man, that's so unfortunate, because I feel like a lot of, frankly, I should have calculated for the helping hand. But even still, I feel like a lot of that could have been avoided with just actually leading low Ninetales, right? So it's completely on me for just like misleading that. Oh, damn. Okay, it is what it is. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a lucky freeze on Okidogi, or like a crit. That's kind of what it would take though. It's like a freeze and crit. We'll just go for Blizzard though, and I'll go for Trico Meteor. If we can get the freeze on Okidogi, we actually go to game 3. But like otherwise though, it'll be just unfortunate. Like that's completely. I mean, it would be very undeserved, frankly. But like, I mean, hey, we're clicking Blizzard, so who really knows? Like this move can do some dirty things. Like let's hit our freeze here. Let's hit our freeze on Okidogi. I don't think we did. We did not freeze Okidogi. Okay, yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Definitely on me for not checking that lead. That's a huge L on my part. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, yeah, the game is so over at this point. Oh, that sucks. That's a really shit way to lose. But like again, it's not like Amel did anything wrong regarding that. Like that's all my play. Oh, that sucks. Okay. It's okay, it's okay. We can afford a loss or two. It's not a big deal. And Amel's a decent player anyway. There's no guarantee we would have won that necessarily in a game 3 setup. But very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate indeed. Yeah, okay. We'll just click Draco, but like Amel clears at this point. There's not actual there's not like anything I can actually do here. I think I would need to like somehow survive this hit. I would need to crit Okidogi like right now. Yeah, knockoff's gonna go off anyway. Okay, cool. So I now need to also somehow like dual crit Draco. Which is fun. Oh, we missed Draco. Okay, yeah. No, that's... I mean, again, not like I was going to win anyway without, like, some insane critical hit luck, but just, it's just solid to win, really, at this point, is all. But, again, I wouldn't need to crit, like, 2 Dracos at that point anyway. This is just Zakir's that I actually can't win anymore. Especially... Oh, actually, Terragon's probably just going to KO me outright anyway. I forgot Amel hadn't consumed Terra yet. Yeah, okay, that's game. That is definitely game. Alright, well, I mean, it is what it is. At the very least, for week number 2, we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. It was just very unfortunate play on my part, so we can overcome it for the future game, though. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, though, and let me know if you guys want to see more content like this. Of course, we'll have more battles at least coming up in the future. So we'll hope that in another week we can actually win. I think week 2. Who do we actually take on week 2? I gotta double check that. For week 2, we're gonna be taking on. We're taking on Joey. Oh god. Okay, we're going from Amel to Joey. That's gonna be a huge one. It's okay. It's okay. We'll find a way to beat Joey. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out, guys.